As we get started here, Miss Taylor, I want to thank you again for allowing this deeper dive into the healing zone, for allowing this 60-minute review presentation of the healing zone. Hopefully, by the end of this, we will be able to determine if the healing zone is a nice fit for Mountain View Hospital. Again, as we get started here, I would love for you to tell me what has been your experience with meditation. Thank you for that answer. Again, we wanted you to know that the healing zone was built around people who have little to no experience. That's how the program. One of the emphasis of the program as we brought it about. Also, I took the liberty of listening to a podcast that you were interviewed on. It was Becker's Healthcare Podcast. And within that podcast, you highlighted a couple of areas. And I wanted to see if those things were still your priority or if you've actually changed your mind. Your priorities have shifted. Number one, you talked about um, patient experience. Also, you touched a little bit upon helping your frontline workers through the stress of the pandemic. And then the other thing that you talked about was being able to recruit and retain um, your members that you have now. I would love for you to expound on those three things, or if your priorities have shifted and you and your team have focused on something else. Okay, Ms. Taylor, thank you for those answers. And the reason that I asked you that was because I believe that the the solutions that you and your team have come up with for those priorities that you highlighted, I believe that the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program will be a total complement to everything that you're doing, all the things that you've highlighted. The Healing Zone will be a total complement to uh, the solutions that you and your team have come up with. So as we get started with this first slide here, so I was asked the other day, Chris, what business are you in? And I said, I am in the healing business. I am about healing. I am in the healing business. So Ms. Taylor, that puts our businesses in the same place. I know hospitals, all the things that they do, they are about healing, helping people heal. And so is the healing zone. It's about helping you have a great tool, beneficial tool on that healing journey that you're on, that healing process. Also, the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program, again, is to help you to manage and control your pain, your fear, your stress, and your anxiety. Also, we like to say WSE, without side effects. And what we're trying to do with the Healing Zone is we're trying to bring your mind and your body in the most optimal place for you. Sure about that. Trying to bring your mind and your body in the most optimal place for you. Also, we want to bring your mind and your body in the same place at the same time. So the body has a natural healing mechanism, right? So if you get a cut on your arm and you cover it up and you come back after a couple of days, that cut is healed. That's because potentially your body can heal anything. The problem is that your mind gets in the way. So your mind is like a guard dog. And what we want to do is we want to relax the mind so that the body can do what it does naturally, which is to heal. Again, we're trying to get your mind and your body in the same place at the same time. Oftentimes, you're here, but your mind is either in the future or it's in the past. When you can bring your mind and your body in the same place at the same time, some scientifically proven, wonderful, and magical things happen. Like your pain, your fear, your stress, and your anxiety all decrease. Also, as we're talking about the scientifically proven, we have that in another couple of slides, and we'll talk about the studies and the scientific stuff that the scientific community has come up with as far as mindfulness meditation is concerned. Again, you can get those two things, your mind and your body, in the same place at the same time. Again, wonderful, magical things happen. This program, the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program, is the first mindfulness meditation program aimed at hospitals, and other facilities. With that being said, that brings me to my next point of why I'm so passionate about the Healing Zone and the Mindfulness Meditation Program. By skill and trade, I am a COTA, certified occupational therapist assistant. I've been working in the hospitals since 1991. I've been a COTA since 1998, and I have been working in the hospital and facilities since 1995. And the reason that I am so passionate about the Healing Zone and mindfulness meditation is because it helped me get through a major life crisis. So at one point I had an invention, and this invention had to do with boxing. It was called the audience scorecard. It was a threefold card, and you handed them out at the boxing arenas, and it taught you how to score a fight just like your judges would. With this invention, I've always been one of those type of people that I have had no less than 5 ideas that I came up with but didn't know what to do with at the time, and just let it go. Come up with the idea and let it go, and then a few years later you're sitting on the couch watching TV, and they're like, this wonderful new invention of whatever, and I'm like, and they're selling so many thousands of units of this thing, and I'm like, that's my idea. That's my, no less than 5 times I've done that. So when I came up with this audience scorecard idea, it just was one of those ideas that just would not leave me alone. It would not leave me alone. It kept coming back. I would push it away and it kept coming back. Also at the time, I was able to secure an interview with the producers of the Shark Tank, able to pitch this invention audience scorecard to the Shark Tank. And when that happened, somewhere within a grandeur of delusion, I thought that this was the idea. I thought that this was the idea that was going to make me filthy rich. I thought this was the one. So I took all of that, quit my job, took down my 401k, and I dumped it all into this idea. My launch party, and I don't know if you remember, this was back in 2015. My launch party was supposed to be the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fight. That was supposed to be my launch party for this invention and for this idea. So I had everything ready to go, and the day came, and wait for it, it bombed. It failed. It didn't do anything. It didn't go anywhere. That was supposed to be my launch party, and that was actually a failure party. It wasn't a launch party. It was a failure party. It bombed. Nothing happened. Mind you, at the time, I had stay-at-home wife, infant child, rent payment, car payments, you name it, I had it. So you can imagine at the time, my stress, fear, and anxiety were at an all-time high. So if you measure them at the time, 0 to 10, 10 being the worst, My stress, fear, and anxiety was at a 15. For sure, it was at a 15. And so I was at the library one day, and I grabbed what I thought was a book on CD. And so I took it, popped it into my car, and I realized that it was these 10-minute meditations. Mind you, at the time, I had no experience with meditation, none whatsoever. And when I put this CD in and I listened to this 10-minute meditation, guided meditation, what I noticed was it totally calmed me down, right? Totally, everything came down. So no matter how many of those days I had where I wanted to give up, no matter how many times I came close to the edge, I would listen to this 10-minute meditation and it would pull me back from the edge. Calm me down, pull me back from the edge. So as I slowly but surely started to put my life back together again, I had to go back to my job, ask for my job back, and I thought this would make a great program for my patients. Which now brings me to my next point. So here's the problem. The problem is that now I'm not saying that this happens at all hospitals, and I'm not saying that this happens at Mountain View Hospital, but I'm saying, in my experience, this has been the issue. One of the issues with the hospital is acute care hospitals are very limited on how they handle your pain and your anxiety. Most of the time, if you ring the light and your nurse comes to talk to you, they give you a pill. Most of the time, they have even less answers when it comes to your stress. And they have, from my experience, no answers when it comes to your fear. Normally, what I say is this. Normally, the family member has the stress and the patient has the anxiety. That's normally how it is. So if you can reflect back on the last time you or a family member had to go to the emergency room, had to go to the hospital, how well did the hospital handle your pain, your fear, your stress, and your anxiety, right? And so this has been my experience, which is one of the reasons why I created the Healing Zone. And again, that's the issue. The issue is being able to handle your pain, fear, stress, and anxiety, having more ways to handle it. Which brings me to my next point, the solution. And we believe that the Healing Zone is a solution, not the solution, but a solution as far as handling your pain and your fear, your stress, and your anxiety. Again, we like to say WSE, without side effects. This program was created just for those things. Again, so what happened is at the time I was trying to get my program approved at the hospital, hospital-wide. It was only approved for my floor. So one of my coworkers came to me and said, "Chris, I believe I have a patient that will benefit from your program. Let's call her Mrs. Smith." So I went into the room and I talked to her. I said, "Hey, Mrs. Smith, I heard that you might be interested in the program." And she was so depressed that, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, where you have a person that's so depressed that they don't have enough energy to even talk loud. So she goes, "Yes, I'm interested in the program." She goes, but my daughter's coming tomorrow. Why don't you wait for my daughter?" And I said, "Okay, Mrs. Smith, that's a good idea. We'll wait on your daughter." So the next day came, her daughter came. So I gave the Healing Zone program, to her and her daughter. And I explained to her daughter that, my program was not approved as of yet. I'm still trying to wait on final approval to be throughout the whole hospital. So her daughter was totally impressed by the program. Daughter was totally impressed. She understood. She really got it. So then I turned to Mrs. Smith and I said, Mrs. Smith, did the program help you? Do you feel better? And she goes, I feel a little bit better. Yeah, I feel a little bit better. And I said, okay, Mrs. Smith, I'm gonna come back. I'll check on you in a couple of days, and we'll see what happens. So a couple of days went by. I had not seen her, so I seen her, and I walked up to her and I said, Mrs. Smith, how are you feeling? What's going on? And she was so excited, and she was like, Chris. She said, I do my breathing treatment. I do my breathing in the morning and I do my guided meditation at night. And then she leaned in and she said, and I don't have to take my anti-anxiety pill anymore. And in that moment, I knew that I had something special. I knew that we had something special with the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program, and that I wanted to share this program with as many people, as many hospitals as possible. Also, a couple of slides ago, I talked about the scientific evidence. So they did a meta study back in 2013 of 200 mindfulness meditation programs, and they found in this study that mindfulness meditation works very well when it comes to your stress and your anxiety. Works very well. Also, they did a study at the University of Again, they did a study at the University of Wake Forest School of Medicine that showed that mindfulness meditation was a moderately way to help you reduce your pain. Also, they did a study at the University of Denmark that showed mindfulness meditation was a great way to reduce your fear. And again, the reason that you're hearing so much about mindfulness meditation today is because the scientific community has been studying mindfulness meditation. Number one, they found that it really works. Number two, more people and more companies are giving money to the scientific community to be able to study mindfulness meditation for other alternatives as far as illness and preventative medicine and things like that. And study after study has just been shown that mindfulness meditation does work. It is viable. It can be a viable option along with certain other treatments or by itself. And this is what the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program is all about. Now that the scientific community has accepted mindfulness meditation as a viable option, I believe that it's time for the medical community and specifically the hospital community to accept its validness and effectiveness for handling many issues that patients see and have today. Which leads me to my next point. As far as the market validation of this program has been concerned, as far as the Healing Zone, two major hospitals in Las Vegas has already accepted the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program. We probably have about 500 hours in the field study of different outcomes and different outtakes as far as the program is concerned being perfected. Also, the we do understand that as far as acute care hospitals are concerned, patient satisfaction scores are very important, right? Not only for the patient's experience, but just for the hospital within itself and everything that's going on with the insurance and different things like that. And we are willing to bet our bottom dollar that you can have a totally different experience when you compare a patient who was in a hospital that had the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation program and a patient that did not experience the program. We're willing to bet that those patient satisfaction scores are wildly vastly different from one another. And this is one of the things that we hope to accomplish with this program. So, Walt, for now, we're looking at about 20 minutes. That ends this portion. I think I went to 3 or 4 slides as far as the presentation is concerned. Let me know what you think. My big thing is I know I may need to show I may need to show a little bit more kind of animation and bring my voice up and down, but just give me some feedback and some pointers on different things that we can work on. We can do. All right.